Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Gavin Galloway. I am an SAP on Azure specialist here at Microsoft, and I'm joined by my colleague Preeti, who I'll let introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Gavin. Hi, everyone. Thank you for participating in our webinar with Protera here. I'm Preeti Amarnath, an SAP on Azure specialist covering the Northeast. I'd like to introduce you to our chief host today, Alan.
Hi, everyone. This is Alan Manuel from Protera. Thank you to the audience, both live and if you're listening to us on the replay. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Joining me today is Patrick Osterhaus, founder and CTO of Protera. Hello, Patrick. You got to say hi so we can see you on the video.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for your time, and hopefully you have a lot of great information for you.
Great. We'll hear more from Patrick a little bit later. I'm Alan Manuel, Chief Product Officer of Protera. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to show you how to create your solution to transform your existing SAP landscape to Microsoft Azure. We're going to start first by hearing from the Microsoft team, Gavin and Preeti, about what makes Microsoft an ideal partner for your SAP transformation. Then we're going to talk why now. What are some examples of customers who are making that journey and why are they doing it? Then we're going to go through a live transformation plan where, with Patrick's help, we'll see what it takes to move your SAP to Microsoft Azure. And finally, we'll cover how you can create your own plan. Now, before we get started, I'd like to share with you just some information about what we have seen so far. Now, with the current situation, actually what we're seeing is companies who have made the move to cloud are seeing their business planning pay off. They're continuing to operate their businesses in the face of immense change, which is affecting everyone, including you and me and all of our colleagues. Now, over the last few months, we've seen a pretty consistent pattern of where companies are in their SAP and cloud migration plans, and I'll show that data here. What we've found is that about half of the companies that we talk to are active now, really exploring and beginning their transition from their current state to the cloud. About 1/4 of the companies that we talk to are planning to begin their projects either within the next 6 or next 12 months, so within the next year. And then about 1/4 of the companies that we talk to are in the research phase and plan to begin their journey sometime after the next 12 months, okay? Now I'm gonna turn it over to the Microsoft team to talk about SAP and Microsoft.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. So Microsoft and SAP's relationship, it spans over 25 years, and it has deepened recently over the last 6 months, where we have recently announced the Embrace initiative. What that is that customers were hearing different suggestions around how they should look at their S4 journey to the cloud. And SAP thought that they needed a key hyperscale vendor to help with that migration for customers. And they decided that it was best to team up with Microsoft here to be able to help customers accelerate their S4 journey to the cloud. And what that entails is reference architecture and industry-focused market-approved journeys for customers to be able to leverage to think about how quickly to get to the cloud and leveraging those best practices. Also, as part of that integration, we wanted to help customers accelerate that by being able to have Azure as the back end, right? And Azure is a strong component for being able to help customers really innovate and really drive their customer value through their S4 partnership with Microsoft. So from here, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Alan, who will be able to go deeper into Protera's awesome FlexBridge capabilities.
Thanks so much, Gavin. And for those in the audience who maybe not be aware of who Protera is, let me spend just a minute or so and give you a background on our company. Protera has been in business over 20 years, and we focus on transformations, which is helping companies like yours move your current SAP to the cloud, to Microsoft Azure, as well as application management or managed service, which we call Protera App Care. We've done over 500 migrations and currently have over 1,500 systems under management. Very quickly, we are an SAP Global Hosting Certified Partner, and we have a number of other global certifications with SAP. And we are a Microsoft Gold Partner and very proud to be presenting with them today on this topic. Finally, as Gavin mentioned, we have a platform called Protera FlexBridge, which is our intelligent transformation and management platform, which helps accelerate and reduce the risk of moving your SAP to Microsoft Azure and running your SAP on Microsoft Azure. And that's what we're going to use to show you today how we create your transformation plan with Patrick. Now, why now? Why are companies like yours transforming to SAP on Azure? I'm going to give you 3 quick examples, and then we're going to move to creating that live transformation plan. One reason that companies are making the move is simply business change. We have an example of a customer located in the Midwest. They actually manufacture the plastics that are used in those face shields that are protecting many healthcare workers today. They were in a situation where they needed to quickly move from a parent company into their own unique instance of SAP. They needed to do it quickly. They needed to do it at the right time and cost points, and chose to move that to Microsoft Azure pretty much in an as-is, or what we call a lift and shift transformation. The second reason that companies move is consolidation or simplification. In this case, we worked with a 150-year-old food and beverage manufacturer who wanted to simplify their analytics platform and run their SAP and 26 non-SAP sources on Microsoft Azure. So this was a consolidation and simplification and taking advantage of Azure's unique capabilities to support HANA. A third example is a manufacturer that wanted to take advantage of new capabilities of S/4HANA. In this case, they wanted to simplify their supply chain as well as create some new mobile applications. So you see across the spectrum, whether it's companies that are focused on time, companies focused on simplification, or companies focused on functionality, there's many reasons that organizations like yours continue to accelerate their adoption of cloud and their adoption of Microsoft Azure. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what it takes to actually move your application from where you are today to the cloud, to Microsoft Azure. We're going to go through an example with Patrick's help of a live transformation plan. Now, customers that we work with typically have 3 kinds of questions, and here they are. First, they want to know, can I simply move to the cloud? In this case, we'll take an example of as is. So this example customer is asking, can I move to the cloud as is? Do I have to make many changes? What are my risks going to be? What's my Azure footprint going to look like? The second thing that customers tend to ask is, what's the impact to my business operations going to be? How much time, what's that project plan going to look like? How much downtime will there be, if any? And how much is it going to cost? And then finally, savvy customers ask, what kind of improvements can I expect now and in the future? Will I, for example, have better visibility into the operations of my Microsoft Azure-based SAP? Will I be able to quickly launch new instances for development projects on the cloud, or do I have to have unique skills? So it's both what kind of improvements and what skills is my team going to be expected to know. So for this example, we're going to go through a typical as-is migration of an organization focused on cost, reliability, and agility. And for this example, the customer is going to be running SAP ERP, SAP BW, SAP Bob JBI. It's going to be a non-HANA HADR environment, 10 terabyte database, and 1,000 users. Now, this is just an example. After Patrick goes through and shows us the solution, we'll talk to you about how you can create your own transformation plan with a set of inputs that's almost as simple as this. So now over to Patrick, creating the solution with Protera FlexBridge. Patrick?
Thanks so much, Alan. Very happy and excited to show the FlexBridge tool set here to answer these questions in what you just described, a quick way we can do an assessment of how we can take that customer environment into Azure very quickly and easily. So what we can see here is we're going to start in the Discover area.
That's great. Patrick, if we could actually see the tool, I think you have to click on the share button there so that the audience will be able to watch you as you go along and show us the application itself. This is fantastic. And Patrick, the first question I think the users might want to know is, we gave an example of SAP ERP, SAP BW, SAP Bob JBI, non-HANA HADR. Where is that information in the tool? Is that something that's recorded in Protera FlexBridge? And could you show us that?
Absolutely. So you can see here the recording of the landscapes and the system types. So you can see we have a very simple landscape, development, quality, production for ERP and BW, as well as we're adding an HA and DR system for each of those systems. And we also denote the BobJ system below here. So we can denote what the customer has in their scoping today and what the application is going to solution for the customer and provide the guidance.
Fantastic. So really this tool helps to, first of all, understand the scope of what is in the migration. Now, the first question we had here is, can I simply move to cloud as is without making many changes? Does Protera FlexBridge help us understand whether that move to cloud is even possible?
Absolutely. So the tool does provide guidance and support for many transformations, including going to S4, as mentioned at the beginning of the discussion, as well as going to HANA. Today, we're going to describe the lift and shift, the as is. And so we can denote that objective for the customer to move to Azure for each of the applications that are denoted here in our scope.
Fantastic. Now, there are many considerations that customers have about their existing systems, things like the operating system version or the SAP basis version. Sometimes there might be incompatibilities based upon the transformation that they are trying to plan. Often this would require a long time with a professional consultant to understand all the different intricacies. What are the risks? Is this something that Protera FlexBridge can help the customer understand, or do they need to go and hire an expensive consultant to do that?
So the tool set can collect data many ways on that source environment. And from that data collection, we can do an assessment and provide the customer a good profile of the risk involved. So the way we do that, I'll just very quickly give a brief overview of how we can collect data. There's a myriad of ways that we can collect it, be it an SAP program that we've written. You can install it in your systems. We can also take an Excel, upload basic information of your systems, and with that, provide a summary of those systems. So what I'm going to show here is for the ERP landscape, each of the systems and details on each. So very quickly, we can provide a summarization of the risk involved in the transformation. So
now, this information you're showing here, this has to do with the 10 terabyte database environment and 1,000 users. Is that right? Is that where FlexBridge has captured that information?
Absolutely. So we're going to see a lot of information here. I'm scrolling to the right. You can see the size of those systems. Each system is roughly 1 or 2 terabytes in size. So we're going to see that 10 terabyte footprint represented with all the systems here.
And this is based upon, I assume, our knowledge of best practices. Of course, for the customer specifics, this could be tweaked as you understand more of what the customer's current environment is.
Absolutely. We can collect more data, provide a better estimate of timeline and all the risks associated with the project.
Fantastic. Now let's take a look at those risks. I see red, yellow, green. That red must be bad, green must be good. Why don't you show us what has the tool discovered about this customer's source landscape? What are some of the risks before they embark on their transformation?
Yep, you're absolutely right. Green is good. We do a profile in these categories, first of all. So we look at compatibility across the top, operating system, database, SAP. This is very important that your systems are fully supported by SAP and all the respective vendors. And then also we look at other areas that are very important for transformation, specifically for those HANA databases and for S4. So I'll start here with the operating system. Again, green is good. We're looking at the compatibility of this version. It's Red Hat version 7. It's supported for another 4 years, over 4 years. So obviously that's going to be a passing status. We provide the information to the customer where this information is provided. For all compatibility issues, we look at the SAP PAM, which is the Product Availability Matrix. We also are going to drill into the database. I'm going to show you here, this is 3 systems which do not have a problem. They're DB6, so version 11, fully supported by SAP. But we also see an older version, 9.5, which is no longer supported. So that would have to get upgraded before we do the transformation. And then we also flag for the customer, if they did not provide us information, we presume no information here could be a risk. We want to ensure that that's going to be fully supported. So we flag the customer that it'd be good that they confirm the version just to make sure there's no.
Patrick, if a customer wanted to check this against SAP's own technical notes, do they need to go to SAP's website and search through all those notes, or is there some kind of linkage between what you found here and what SAP's own technical documentation is?
So we'll provide the links in the details here of where you can actually find the information within the SAP portal. But yes, without the tool, it's a little complicated to get to the PAM and find out compatibility.
Okay, fantastic. So now that once you have evaluated the customer's source system, obviously the next step is to understand what their architecture would look like in Microsoft Azure. Is that something you can show us? Absolutely.
So no matter the type of transformation, be it in this example, we have an as-is was shown. This is the source environment. We're also going to auto-solution that source environment into what the target's going to look like. So for as-is, it means that we're going to size those systems for what the VM is going to be in the Azure platform. We see it here as the specific sizing with RAM, CPU. And keep in mind, this auto solutioning is compatible for going to HANA and for S4. So we're going to provide a very prescriptive, detailed view of what that target landscape is going to look like.
This is a detailed view. Patrick, was this something that was loaded ahead of time, or is this in real time? If we were to go back, we don't have time now, but if we were to go back and change the source environment, is there a lengthy process to see what the results would look like, or how quickly is it for this system view to be updated, shall we say?
Yeah, the auto solutioning happens at the entry of the source information. So once that data for each system, as you asked, if we change or delete a system or add some new systems, they're going to be automatically showing in this new target environment instantaneously. So it's very quick, and it's nice to model and see what the target environment will look like with changes.
Fantastic. So all in real time. Now it's a great display of information. Many customers, I would guess, that are listening in today might be more used to a traditional architecture diagram representation. Do we have any kind of view that might be more similar to what they are typically used to seeing?
We do, in fact, provide automatically through that auto solutioning the details of the systems as well as a visual representation, which you can click into and get more information. If you have a distributed environment for a system, for example, a separate database server and app servers, they would all be represented here with their respective details. It's going to correspond with best practices from Microsoft and SAP. So we're going to design disaster recovery in a separate region. We're going to also apply best practices around HA systems. So they're going to be in a separate AZ and a separate subnet. And also we're going to apply not only the sizing recommendations in our solution, but also security we're going to segregate internet-facing traffic, for example, into its own subnet, separating that internet traffic from the customer private network. So,
and again, if the customer wanted to go back and make revisions to their source, for example, we had selected HADR, but if the customer says, no, give me a diagram without HADR, would this tool automatically update that in real time, just like the other table was updated?
Absolutely. Yep. Just like the system detail information, the architecture diagrams automatically updated with.
All right, fantastic. So you showed us, yes, we can move to cloud. I'm reading the questions here on my other monitor. Yes, we can move to cloud. You showed us what the risks were, the red, yellow, green. You showed us the Azure footprint in both the table and the diagram format. Now tell us, what will the impact to my business operations be? What will it cost? Is there some kind of a project plan, roles and responsibilities, sort of the typical elements of a transformation or migration project? Can you show us that?
Absolutely. So we do provide guidance on the methodology, and that's going to be the approach. We also are going to show for the stages, you can see here represented through the project plan. So we're going to have the specific phases, how we're going to approach each of the system types, be it dev, or if there's a rehearsal run, when production gets moved, and how we build the quality systems and all the other subsequent systems. It's all going to be reflected in a high-level project plan, broken up by phases, as well as who is doing what throughout the project. So this is very clear about the customer deliverables and what impact.
I hate to ask this again, Patrick, but I'm going to. Let's say, again, the source information changes, or perhaps the customer decides they don't want to do as is, they want to do a move to HANA. Would that project plan also update in real time, or is that something that, again, takes a long and detailed session with a consultant, for example?
Nope, absolutely keeping in line with what I said already, everything's real time. So the project plan, the methodology will be updated as soon as the target environment is updated, as well as what we'll show with the diagram and the next piece here, the pricing.
Okay, great. Yeah, let's talk about that. So I know, and you as well talking to customers, initially customers want to know, just give me a rough idea, rough order of magnitude of what my application could look like on Microsoft Azure. I see we have the architecture here. Do we have the pricing? Could you show us? And Patrick, not just the price of the instances, but there's other things as well. For example, there's backup costs as well, which really are sort of the full price of what it would be on Azure. Can you show us that?
Absolutely. So I'm demonstrating here the pay-as-you-go. This is the on-demand model. We certainly can show also the 1-year reserved and 3-year reserved if a customer is going to commit to a longer term with those instances, with those VMs. So you're going to see this line item for each of the servers, and it's broken up as you detail, not only for the compute, but also recommendations on best practices for what backup costs could likely be, as well as the storage. So we're taking a look at the whole view of the costs for infrastructure and looking at that through a period of time.
Fantastic. Now, if we step back and remember, and I'm reading off the slide that we presented before, what were the business drivers for this example? It was cost, reliability, and agility. So now you've shown us what it's going to look like on Microsoft Azure, but now the next step, when I'm running on Azure, what kind of improvements can I expect? Can I view the reliability? Can I view the uptime? Can I look at the capacity? And can I change things? How would we manage that once I've moved my SAP to Microsoft Azure?
So once the systems are explored and discovered, they can be automatically entered into this dashboard, and this is the operational view. So you can see information on metrics around performance of those systems throughout the full stack. So this includes CPU, memory, disk performance, as well as SAP dialog performance. So it'll come in not only for one system, but for all the systems. Even we can delve into the on-premise environment. So those systems that the customer has and they host today, we can apply the analytics that Azure provides for those respective stack, be it CPU, memory, or the storage and the SAP system itself, and get details. So
okay, so now for customers who obviously see Microsoft Azure as a tremendously powerful platform to run their SAP, is there an entirely new set of skills that I need to learn? Do I need to retrain my whole team or bring on additional staff to be able to take advantage of this power? Or is this something where automations or tools like this could possibly help?
So absolutely. So we have automation. I may have to sign out. I think I got logged, but I'll talk in the meantime. So the tooling is going to provide automation, including system copies, capabilities where you can build systems on the fly. And that will be with the provisioning aspect, which is also provided within the run module. So you can see very quickly the capability of abstracting these very complicated processes within software and bringing that into Azure with those systems into the cloud and fully managing them with guaranteed SLAs and providing ease of use for these complicated processes.
Fantastic. So this screen here that's coming up right now, this is really sort of the modern way, would be the modern way for me to manage my SAP on Azure. I get that cost, I get the reliability, I get the availability, the agility, all those benefits, but really as surfaced through my SAP application itself. So that's tremendous. Thank you so much, Patrick. We just have a few minutes left, and I wanted to cover one or two topics, including something very special from our colleagues at Microsoft. So I'm going to take the screen back.
Okay.
And let me go ahead and take the screen. All right. So to those of you in the audience, let's talk about your own SAP landscape. Now, to really understand how quickly you can move your SAP to Azure, we have a special offer called the SAP on Azure Transformation Assessment. It includes everything that you saw here, all of the automations, the best practice architectures, the ability to visualize different transformation scenarios, plus some expert guidance and some interpretation of the results that we really didn't have time to cover in today's demonstration. Now, as I mentioned, we have some special offer here from our Microsoft colleagues, so I'll let Gavin and Preeti jump in and let you guys know again, something special from Microsoft.
Thank you, Alan. So everybody on our webinar today, thank you so much for participating. As you can see, this is a fantastic technology that we are partnering with Protera on. And as part of this transformation assessment, we would like to offer this complimentary to everybody who has attended our webinar today. So all you need to do is simply sign up on chat or an email ID that will prompt on our next screen. Obviously, this is a limited offer for this quarter. So if you can sign up before June end, that would help us greatly. Again, everything is funded by Microsoft as a complimentary assessment as part of Protera's FlexBridge technology that we want to bring to our partners. So together, between Protera and Microsoft, we can help you on your SAP journey to cloud. Thank you, Alan. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. And again, to those listening, either live or on the replay, we are seeing actually really an accelerated interest in companies wanting to move their SAP to Microsoft Azure. So for those of you who are have it in your plans to evaluate what that migration would look like, this is really a fantastic offer. I would encourage you to, as soon as possible, put your name in the chat or email us at this address here on this page. Because there really is only a limited time frame in which we can take advantage of this offer in partnership with Microsoft. So please do not wait. There is, as I mentioned, a tremendous amount of demand for companies to understand what this path looks like, and we would love to involve you, especially because you've taken the time to be with us today. Okay. All right, thank you so much. We have just about 2 or 3 minutes left on the webinar here. A couple of questions have come in, and I would like to just see if we can answer these. And for those that we do not have time to answer, we will follow up for those of you who have obviously registered with the answer. So question number one that has come in is, what information do you need about our systems for the assessment? I'll turn that to Patrick. How do we, what does the customer need to do to prepare? What kind of information is needed?
Yep. So as I showed, there's many ways that we can collect that data. We can do it through our ABAP program for every SAP system you have. We can also start with just collecting basic information around the sizing and the system information through our Excel and how we enter that data very quickly into the tool set. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out to us. We can provide that Excel template, which we can use to upload the system information.
Fantastic. Question number two, how long would, what does it say? How long would an assessment take? How long does an assessment take?
Yep. So as I showed, the actual uploading of the data is instantaneous. We get results from that. What we recommend is we want to understand fully the requirements of your project, understand if it's as is, HANA, those details. So typically we would recommend a week from the time that you submit all the data, and that we would provide a full answer to you for the transformation plan. Because it's not just the deliverables we showed in the software, but also we want to make sure that we're checking all the boxes and providing you a certified solution fully. So typically within 5 business days, we would have a full solution back to you.
Okay. The third question that came in is asking about other configurations. Now, Patrick, on this, in this example, we took customers, the audience here, through a live as-is example, sort of a simple landscape. And obviously, we took an abbreviated path through the tool. But let's say there's a more complex landscape. Let's say it's an upgrade to HANA. Let's say it's an upgrade to S4 HANA. Let's say that the customer wants to make some manual modifications to, for example, the target architecture. So all of the customizations are really going from this this simple example here to the reality. Are all these different combinations and permutations available and supported within the tool?
They absolutely are. And matter of fact, we see a lot of customers actually doing multiple types of transformations within the same project. So we may have a customer that's doing an ERP to S4 transformation. They may take their BW system to HANA, and they may take additional systems like CRM or SRM and keep them as is. And additionally, we can take assessment and look at recommendations for even the non-SAP systems. They might be add-ons. They may be completely different third-party products that interface with SAP. So we can do a full assessment for all those products, provide guidance on the timeline. Even we didn't talk about the scope of this conversation, but we can do the provisioning of those systems and the transformations themselves within FlexBridge. So it's the full life cycle of all of it.
All right, looks like we are just coming in on time. Before I turn it back over to the Microsoft team to close, I just wanted to, again, thank the audience, whether you're listening in live or on the replay. Again, hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Hope to see you in person when this time passes. Thank you, Patrick, so much for taking us through this. Again, I'm Alan Manuel, Chief Product Officer of Protera Technologies, and I'll turn it back over to the Microsoft team for any final thoughts before we say goodbye.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Great partnership here with the Protera team. Thank you for getting on and telling our audience on everything that they can gain from this assessment and from your technology as they journey to cloud. That said, please be safe and well, and we look forward to meeting you all in person when the timing is right. Thank you.